Beijing Vocabulary List 2 Success Criteria. After you watch this video, you can recognize the character words and you can also use the character words to make sentences. Remember, while you watch the video, you need to take down the notes on how to remember the character words and write down the examples of how we're going to use the character words. Make sure you follow me with the pronunciation and also watch it again if you need, and make sure you practice on Education Perfect. Now, let's get started. 文化 means culture. For example, we can say 中国文化很有意思. Chinese culture is interesting. Remember, there is no 是 here, no is or am and are. So 很 is the linking, connecting word to connect the subject and the adjective. Or we can say 我觉得 I think 中国文化很有意思. Chinese culture is interesting. Now, let's have a closer look at the character words. 文 originally it means language or culture. And why? So originally it's like the person, see the head of the person, this is the shoulder, and the cross indicating tattoo. So back in the old days, tattoo was part of the language or images to tell people the story. So 文, so in Chinese, that means language or words. And 画 in Chinese, it means changing. So the left-hand side is a person. On the right-hand side is an upside-down person. So that means a change. So put them together. Maybe culture is a changing process, because I think Chinese culture changed a lot over all these years. So put them together, 文化 means culture, but literally 文 means culture or language and 化 means change. Next one. 可以 means can. We can use 可以 for giving suggestion or asking for permission. For example, 你可以坐火车去上海. You can take the train to Shanghai. 你可以坐火车去上海. So here, 可以 is used for giving suggestions. Next one. 我可以去喝水吗? So here 可以 is used to ask for permission. 我可以去喝水吗? May I go to drink water? Now, let's have a look at the character. 可 it looks like an ancient Chinese X. So 可, the X indicating work. So underneath is a mouth. So the mouth giving instruction to the X. So we can start doing the work. And E, that actually is like an ancient Chinese plow. So we use this to soften the soil. E, so maybe it's the suitable time to soften the soil. So that's E. So put them together nowadays. We don't break them up. So 可以, that means can. So we can use it to make suggestions or ask for permission. 听 means listen. So we normally say 听课. That means you listen to your teacher in class. 听课. So 好好听课 what does it mean? 什么意思呢？好好 here, that means we behave and to do the sensible thing. So 好好听课 that means I listen carefully to the teacher and think, and without distracting other people and without distracting myself. So 好好听课 we can use 好好 into a lot of contexts like 好好吃饭 you're not too picking, or 好好说话 that means you're not putting other people down and you speak politely. 听说 that means hear people say 听说 that's heard. 我听说中国文化很有意思 I heard Chinese culture is interesting. 好听什么意思？好听 good to hear, yes. So your ears feel great after you hear. So that means the music is beautiful. So this is what difference between English and Chinese. So in English, when we say the music is nice, so we can say, oh, it's beautiful. But in Chinese, we use 好听 instead of saying beautiful. So for example, 中国音乐很好听. So in English, it means Chinese music is beautiful, but literally, 中国音乐 good to hear. So this is what we say when we say that how beautiful the music is. We use 好听 rather than beautiful, 漂亮 or 美丽. Now let's look at the character. So 听 on the left hand side is a person's mouth. On the right hand side, maybe you can understand it as an ear. So a person talk to your ear and you gotta listen. That's 听. 城市 means city. For example, 北京是一个很有名的城市. Beijing is a famous city, 城市. And the picture here is Shanghai. So I can say 上海也是一个很有名的城市. And Shanghai is also a famous city. So 城市 means city. Now let's break this up. 城 on the left hand side is soil or earth radical. On the right hand side, indicating the pronunciation. So these words pronounced as 城. So put them together, 城. Original meaning of 城 means war. War, you mean the city war, W-A-L-L, war. So on the right hand side, the 城, it looking like a Chinese weapon, and underneath is a nail. So that means we get the work done. 成, that means a completion of work. So, but put them together, 成, that means war. And nowadays we can also use it for city as well. And remember, old Chinese cities always have walls around it. Next one, 市. And originally, 市 means trade, but nowadays we use it for city as well. So this character looks like an ancient Chinese flag. So this is the flag holder and this is the shape of the flag. And I can't find a ancient Chinese flag, so I use a lantern to replace, but the shape looks similar. So when you do trade, you always put the flags up and to tell people what you're selling, maybe how much discount you want to give to people. So 市, that means trade, and nowadays we use it to refer to city. So put them together just means city. 城市，城市。千万，千万。So in Chinese, 千万 one is 10,000, 千万 is 10 million. For example, 北京有2000万人口。So Beijing has got 2000万, so that's 20 million population. 2000万人口。Let's look at the character. 千。So 千 is like, this is a person, and we put a cross. So because 千 is a lot, isn't it? So, and we use a cross to indicate many of them. That's 千 means 1,000, and one, that means 10,000. Originally, one is like this, and actually it's like a scorpion. So the scorpion has got a lot of legs. So later on, this character change into this form. You see the top of the character? So this is what we take it. Now we use this one to indicate 10,000, and which we don't have the specific word in English for 10,000. Okay. 人口. So we know these two characters, easy. 人, person or people, and 口, that's mouth, people's mouth, population. For example, 中国的人口比新西兰多. That means the Chinese population is bigger than New Zealand. But remember, in English, when we talk about population, we say the population is big or small. But in Chinese, we don't use big or small. We use 多 or 少. That's 多, that means a lot. So literally in Chinese, that Chinese population is more than New Zealand. 多 means more. Or if you want to say much more, we add another 多了。中国的人口比新西兰多了。That means the Chinese population is much bigger than New Zealand. 中国的人口比新西兰多了。Now, the biggest city of New Zealand, 奥克兰. This is how Chinese people call Auckland, 奥克兰. So Auckland is pretty much pronunciation of Auckland, 奥克兰. I'm not going to go through all these three characters, but I'd like you to look at 奥. And 奥 is like a New Zealand flag, and underneath is a 大, isn't it? Yes, so that way you can recognize the character. For example, 奥克兰是新西兰最大也是最有名的城市. So Auckland is New Zealand's biggest and also the most famous city. 是新西兰最大也是最有名的城市，奥克兰。复习 That means revision. 这是什么字？这是文化。这是什么？这是可以。这是什么？这是听。这是什么字？这是城市。这是什么字？这是千万。这是什么字？这是人口。这是什么字？这是奥克兰。So, when we put into sentences, the key sentences we learn from this list, 奥克兰有 100万的人口 when we talk about the population of a city, so this is the structure. 奥克兰有100万的人口。Or if you compare two places about the population, 中国的人口比新西兰多。Or if you want to say much more, 中国的人口比新西兰多了。